Hi guys, welcome to Top 10, and this week we're going to be doing PlayStation 2 games. This is part of our trilogy of PlayStation games. Last week we did PlayStation, next week we'll be doing PlayStation 3, but this week we're focusing on PlayStation 2. So, in at number 10!
Number 10 is Canis Calamedit, also known as Bully. Because the weird thing was with this game is that it was very much anticipated anyway, because it was postponed for about 18 months, 2 years, I think, purely because of the name Bully. A lot of people complained about it because they were like piecing it together, like, why would we want to promote a game that, you know, shows a positive view on bullying? Yeah. Which, if you play the game, it really don't. You're standing up for the little guy. So they turned it to Canis Calamedit, which is Latin for dog eat dog. Yet when they released it on the Xbox, it was called Bully. So it was a waste of everybody's fucking time. But anyway, as far as the game goes, it's Rockstar. So, you know, when you're in the hands of the guys who made Grand Theft Auto, you're guaranteed a good game.
Absolutely.
And it was really good. It was everything I expected it to be. You're a kid that goes to boarding school, and you're kind of working your way through the ranks a little bit. Like it. No, I suppose not like in school, but, you know, everybody has their group. You got the jocks, you got the nerds, you got the goth kids and stuff, and each pretty much stage of the game is you're doing missions for them, you're finding random characters. If you wanted to, you could even go to class.
If you wanted to.
Yeah, but when you've got the choice like, or can I just roam around the school and just beat people up? So yeah, I can see why some people were like, oh yeah, game that just beats kids up.
You know, GTA, it promotes violence and hookers and stuff.
I'm pretty sure this was an 18, so there's a reason it was.
Yeah, it says what it is.
But the story was great. It kind of, I never went to boarding school, but I was saying to Mr. Mason here, kind of like our school. If you've ever been to rugby and you went to Ashlawn, you know what we're talking about. So if you've played this game, you'll agree with me. But
school sucks.
Yeah, I suppose it's any school in the UK really. There's nothing, if you've gone to school and you've got this game, there's going to be something on this game you can relate to, and it's just a load of fun. Yeah. It's a good game.
So that's in at number 10. Mm-hmm. In at number 9 is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. I'm pretty sure I said that right. If I didn't,
try and say that 3 times.
Yeah,
no.
But yeah, I was a massive fan of Dragon Ball Z series as a kid. I loved growing up watching like these fights and everything, Super Saiyans and all that kind of stuff. It was really good fun. And they released a load of games, loads of different ones. The PS2 ones were probably the best. And out of all of them, this was the best one. It just had a more expansive land. You could, it was less linear and side on like you. Street Fighter games.
Yeah.
It was more all over the place. You could throw people through rocks and everything. You could have big cutscenes where you're beating the crap into people. The combos are awesome. The moves like the Kamehameha, the Spirit Bombs, all that kind of stuff were fucking. They really made it cinematic when it happened. You had to build up to get to that point, but if you did it, it was awesome. It was just such a fun beat 'em up game, and it went through the stories of the series. And it just, as a kid. Growing up, when you're actually a teenager and all you want to do is beat people up, this is one of the games.
And when you wish you could have a fireball or something to shove down someone's throat.
Yeah, because when I was 14, all I wanted to do was be a Super Saiyan. Just that would be the best thing ever. Just power up and beat the shit into me.
When reality kicks in, it's like, well, maybe a rock star will do, but because I can't fly.
I wouldn't do that.
Fair enough. But yeah, it seems to me, I've never played it, but what I think I've seen from it, it seems a lot. More loyal to the style of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what a fan would want,
absolutely.
Really, of anything.
So it was an awesome game, and it was one of my all-time favourites, and that's in at number 9.
Mm-hmm. In at number 8 is Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock.
Yeah.
Now, again, I think it's safe to say the first Guitar Hero, as you know, as it being the first, started this whole new revolution of you can play music on a controller that's in the exact shape of a guitar. Yeah. So, for the retards that can't play, me.
I can't even play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was that thing a while back that people who actually can play guitar can't play Guitar Hero, and vice versa.
It's really weird because obviously it's completely different setup. I mean, you get used to it, but it ain't like actually playing guitar.
Yeah, it's 5 buttons and a strum.
Yeah, it ain't the same.
So for people like me, it's kind of, I still find it hard. You need another finger for the orange button. But anyway, yeah. Guitar Hero 1 obviously was what started it all, but with 3 it was more like you know, the first two are kind of like, we'll put any random song in there that has guitar in, whether it be pop, whether it be this. When it's Legends of Rock, you know you're getting what the game is created for like the people that love rock, that love metal, and the set list was great.
Epic. It's like having things like Slash in it and everything was just,
yeah.
like I say, the title says it all, Legends of Rock, and there was just so many legendary tracks in it, and it was just fun when you got to jam with Slash.
Oh yeah.
And Tommy Morello.
Yeah, Tommy Morello. And the character, it kind of had a weird storyline, because it had no dialogue. It was like, if there was speech bubbles, it was just full of like they were making grunting noises. Like,
yeah.
But you kind of got into it. There's always something to do with the devil because, you know, rock and roll is always going to be associated with the devil. And, you know, these characters you could either create, or there was like a really fat guy, I think, called Lars. That looked like a reject from Kiss. It's like Gene Simmons just ate burgers.
Some cool characters.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it was the first time I came across it was released as an arcade game, an amusement arcade.
I think so, yeah.
And I was thinking, great idea. And I think the metal was on there by Tenacious D. And I was just like, oh yeah, it took me a while to get the hang of it, but as soon as I got the hang of it, it was like, this is cool. Yeah, I can't be asked to play an actual guitar.
I remember when I bought this, it was after a Christmas, and I had a load of Christmas money and everything. I had about 100 quid, and I was going into town with Mr. Sticks, and the whole day we were wandering around. I was like, should I get it? I don't know, should I get it? He's like, and he kept badgering me, go, do it.
You want it.
We can go home and play it now, we can go and do it. And I did eventually crack. I bought it, and we literally spent from about 4 in the afternoon till about 2 in the morning going through the entire story and just playing everything. By the time it finished, we'd unlocked everything because we were that into it. We just kept saying, oh, just one more song, another one.
Well, I suppose you're glad you got into it because then they released Kotaro Metallica, which is probably your like dream game, pretty much.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
So, but just to prove how much of a dick Axl Rose is in Guns N' Roses, like you didn't already know, the reason Guitar Hero isn't around anymore is because he sued them. He didn't. They really did use Slash with the whole motion
capture.
Yeah. And Axl, I think, has the rights to the Welcome to the Jungle song, which they have in the game. And Axl said you can have the song as long as Slash isn't involved in the game. So all they did was put the character in, but didn't call him Slash, even though it was obviously Slash.
Yeah.
Axl took offence to this and sued the fans of Guitar Hero, which is why we have no more Guitar Heroes. So fuck you, Axl.
Well done, Axl, you dick.
Yeah, we got Rock Band, which is
it's okay. It's not the same.
No, I haven't heard of them for years either. So
on as well. He probably sued them as well.
Yeah. But anyway, that was number 8.
Yeah, absolutely. So in at number 7 is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Now, a lot of people will hear this and go, why the hell are you putting this in the top 10? But as I've said before, it's our opinions, it's our stuff that we enjoyed as kids. And this game for me was just awesome.
It's hard to make a top 10 anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it was just like Two Towers was a good one. But then when they brought Return of the King out, it was like another level. At the time, it's just like the graphics were awesome, the story was awesome. It followed the film so well. And you could be so many characters in this. Before, in Two Towers, you could only be Aragorn, Gimli or Legolas, and that was it. In this, you can be those three, the Hobbits, Gandalf. You could be other characters that you can unlock, like Faramir and everything. You could be so many characters and do so many different things. And it was just good fun. It was good fun going through the final chapter of this book / film in game form, feeling like you were there. And it was just a lot of fun. And I just remember just hours of just playing this game. It was such a good laugh.
Yeah.
And there was loads of special content on it as well. It was like, you want a lot more stuff, they'll give you videos, so the actual characters were doing their voices for it. You get behind the scenes stuff, them talking to you, all that kind of stuff. And I like that when games give you that kind of content. It gives you more stuff to look forward to.
It's good when, like, movie to video games are risky anyway. Not as risky as, I suppose, video game to movies, as you probably all know. Like, Doom was a bit of a...
Yeah, Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I enjoyed that as a film, just not as a rendition from video games. And, Tomb Raider was okay, but you know, when they're going to go, right, there's a film here, we'll do a video game on it. It's like, is it just going to be literally like with the Phantom Menace on PS1, which they mentioned last week? It was the story, but they kind of had twists to it, like
more stuff in.
Instead of just go like when Obi-Wan landed on Naboo and he legged it to Qui-Gon, they kind of had his own story in that. Yeah, cool. And I think, did Return of the King do that, or was it just?
They kind of did. Yeah, they did the extra bits and everything that you don't see. But I think you have to do that in like games you have to expand it.
Yeah, expand the horizons a bit.
Yeah, but it was just like that, and I enjoyed it. It was good fun.
Yeah, and Enter the Matrix did something. So when you're talking about the voices, the Wachowski brothers took Enter the Matrix really seriously, because not only did they write the script for that, but they got, is it Jada Pinkett Smith? Yeah, and the guy who played Ghost. They pretty much hired them to do this script in the game. They filmed new scenes that were used in the games. They had their voices, they had motion capture. They took it really seriously, and you had a really good game from it. It was like a part of the Matrix story you didn't know about. If you do want to know about it, you can play it as a video game. Yeah. So Return of the King didn't do that, but like you said, it's a good game.
It is a good thing. It's a really good game. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to pick it up again, I think.
Yeah, when a game like with Lord of the Rings, because it's the last of the trilogy, you know it's a game that's going to sum up the end of a story.
Yeah.
So if Assassin's Creed, it looks like Assassin's Creed's going to go on for ages.
Yeah. They said that they got another until at least 2022.
Well, there you go. If they ever go to the point of going, this is the final game, this will sum up everything you've seen in the previous games, you know how massive that's going to be, because that's what all Assassin's Creed fans they won't want it to end, but they'll want a definitive good ending to a story.
Yeah.
So that's what Return of the King did. You knew the end of the film, but you want to play it as a game.
Absolutely. In at number 6
is Gun. It's just, the title, you're just kind of like, Gun. Yeah. Like what we used to say, Duck. But in this case, Gun. I think Gun again was it Rockstar again?
No, it wasn't Rockstar.
No, who was it?
I can't remember who it was.
But the way it was
awesome,
the way it was created, you'd think it would be a kind of Rockstar thing. But it seemed to me, it was the first proper good Western game I remember for a while. Yeah. So I think I played the PSP version, I was saying, which was pretty much
the exact same as the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, but they made it a handheld version, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's had similar qualities to the way Assassin's Creed's played, like the whole, you couldn't climb everything, but the free roam, go through canyons on horseback and all that. What else did you say it was similar to?
It was good with the Dead Eye. You did the same thing.
Red Dead.
It was kind of like an early Red Dead Redemption before, because obviously well before Red Dead was made. But it had that kind of flavour to it. It had a good storyline. It had, like, you could upgrade your weapons all the time. You had a big open land. It was just good fun. I just really enjoyed having a Western film. Western game. We've been crying for it for ages, and finally you get one.
It seemed not to be too cheesy and cliche like you'd expect. It wasn't any of that, like, alright, you do 10 paces, and it might have been in some points, can't remember now. But it wasn't the whole retro, like, swinging the doors open and...
No, it was very gritty.
Yeah, it was more like, this is what it'd actually be like in those times.
Yeah, it's quite violent as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course,
it was really, really just good fun. You would have thought that Rockstar were the ones that made it, but I don't think they were.
No.
It had that flavour.
Yeah, it was very adrenaline based.
Yeah.
And it was also interesting to see, they kind of went... they probably saw what was happening with Grand Theft Auto at the time, thinking, this is massive, why don't we do something similar but in a different time frame, which a lot of games, if you look at it, are kind of doing, with like Assassin's Creed and, like you said, Red Dead, it kind of up the ante of Gun. But Gun will always be
a good milestone.
Yeah, especially on PS2, it'll be a huge game, which was on the list. A milestone game for PlayStation 2 lovers.
And I just think the story was incredible. It was just all the bad guys, Magruder, the big guy with the beard and everything's your main bad guy. He's basically trying to find treasure, and it's basically you're trying to stop him. It's the main point of it, and he kills loads of your mates, you kill loads of his bodyguards, you kill a preacher and all that kind of stuff. It's just the story as it unfolds. After it finished, I thought to myself, I want to see this adapted to film. It was that good of a story. It wasn't too long, it wasn't too short, it was just perfect. It was a really good story.
It was pretty much the blueprint for what a cold-blooded cowboy game should be.
Absolutely.
And I think it's remained that way.
It was awesome.
People can say Gun and they'll either go talk about the video game or the band.
Yeah.
So and usually we go talking about the video game.
Absolutely.
So Gun.
In at number 6.
Mm-hmm.
So in at number 5 is Prince of Persia: Warrior Within.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know that a lot of you would be screaming, "No, what are you on about?
Sands of Time.
Sands of Time." It's like, yes, Sands of Time was great. It was really awesome, but for us, it was Warrior Within purely because it was more gritty. It was darker. It was Oh, it was just such a
more our style.
Just a more it was more our style for the game, and I remember playing that a lot more often than I played Sands of Time. It was just a darker place that you'd gone to. You had the Dahaka following you to try and reclaim your soul because you were the one that opened the Sands of Time in the first game, and you're basically going to this island to try and stop that from happening. You're trying to go through this time shift type thing to go back to stop the Dahaka from chasing you, so you can be killed, kind of thing. You're trying to reverse the mistake you made.
Demise, yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically the whole gist of the story. But it's so much fun going back and forth through this world, and it's like every now and then you have the Dahaka chasing you, and every time it happens, it goes black and white. You have to run for your life, and then you've got "I Stand Alone" from Godsmack banging out in the background, and it's awesome. They just put everything together so perfectly. It was classic running up the walls. It was classic moves with your sword. It was classic climbing all over the place, puzzle solving. It was just a classic Prince of Persia game, but with more grit and more darkness to it. And I really, really enjoyed it. And the amount of times I played it is unreal.
To me, not most video games, but a lot of video games are good on various things, but a soundtrack is key to me.
Yeah.
So, as you probably guessed in Rock and Roll Nerds, the one thing both myself, Adam, and Styx have in common is our love for all things rock and metal. And if anyone knows me, will know I bum Godsmack to death, and they're such a good band. So if you want a game to pump you up, that's the song that will do it.
Yeah.
Or songs to
every
that
single
style.
time it happened, you'd be shitting yourself because this massive beast is chasing you. But you're still like, yeah, come on, chase me, you bastard!
Oh,
because
yeah.
you've got that song in the background spurring you on. It was awesome.
The good thing with, kind of going off topic a little bit, with the horror kind of games like Silent Hill and stuff, the reason people are terrified is that when it's silent and black and white and suddenly there's about 8 zombies around you, you know, it's gonna be like fucking hell. And you're not gonna be confident. When you got, I don't know, 100 warriors around you and there's a good metal song playing, you know, like, bring it on. Yeah, you're pumped up and you're ready to cut someone's fucking head off.
See, sometimes the track would start before it went black and white, or before he appeared, so as soon as you hear it...
Yeah, oh, it's happening.
Oh, shit,
Get ready.
Run!
That's what you want.
That was awesome. It was so cool. That is why it is in at number 5.
In at number 4, Burnout Revenge.
Yeah.
Now, we're not huge on racing games,
No.
but what we discussed earlier, it was one of them where, yeah, we could see a trailer for Gran Turismo and stuff and go, oh, another racing game. And it kind of did have that effect, but it was like, this is different. I don't know if it had a good soundtrack, like we were talking about
Dude, it had an amazing soundtrack. It had, like, Avenged Sevenfold, everything. It was a good soundtrack.
But it was also one of them where, yes, of course you wanted to win the race, and it was... I think it was the first time I actually have it wasn't just a straight track. You did have things coming in front of you. And if you crashed, you'd be like, oh, fuck, but... God, did you crash in style?
Yeah, and you had your blow-up bonus. If you got the bar up enough on the Burnout games, you could crash, roll yourself into the oncoming cars and explode, and you get more points for killing them.
Yeah, I remember playing it and being very tempted. Like, I could be first and miles ahead, but if there's a fuel tank in front of me, I'm kind of tempted to crash into it to see a really cool explosion. So,
yeah, they did that, like, again, you had your races, but you also had a crash mode, where it's literally just a quarter mile. You literally get your speed up as high as possible, hit the ramp, and try and hit as many cars and trucks in this oncoming traffic and make as much of an explosion as you can, because you get more points.
The game could have just been
awesome.
that. It could have just
been that. I would have been fine with it.
Yeah, because there's another game that wasn't as successful recently called Split Second. And it was a similar kind of style, you know, you're racing and stuff. And it was kind of like crossing Burnout with Mario Kart. You got power-ups, and power-ups, and you could use them to, like, get speed boosts and stuff. But if you built them up, you press this button, and it wouldn't just be you shoot a missile or something. A part of the scenery would explode. So if it was a minor power-up, you got to time it brilliantly. If someone's in front, you see a petrol station, you press this button, the petrol station blows up, you blow up the car that's nearby. Otherwise, you can actually bring an entire aeroplane crashing down onto the racetrack and crushing all the cars. This was, as soon as I saw the trailer, I felt like, yeah, this is my kind of game since Burnout Revenge. So, I think, is Burnout still going?
I don't know, I've not seen a Burnout game in a long time. I could be wrong, they could still be going, but I haven't seen one in a while.
Well, they've just remade Need for Speed.
Yeah, I think Burnout should keep going.
Yeah,
because it's got people that don't really do racing games during racing games because we get the explosion mode and we love
It's
that.
like, fuck, I crashed, but yeah!
It's literally like you get a second chance. It's like, yes, you may have crashed, but you've got a good 10 seconds to make that explosion count.
Yeah.
And it's
If you can take out someone else while you're doing it,
Yeah.
brilliant.
awesome.
So it's like, oh, I'm going now and you're coming with me.
Yeah, so that's in at number 4.
Mhm.
In at number 3 is Tony Hawk's Underground. Oh, this was such an awesome game. It was like another level from the PlayStation ones. It was so cool. It was just, they found out a new way to reinvent playing on a skateboard. The storyline was epic. You're building your way up through the skater league and getting your moments and everything, but then your best friend just basically screws you over again and again and again. Every chance that happens, until the point where you get to the end and you do one final race to get the tapes back that he nicked. And it's wicked. If you get enough, if you go around, obviously you do the whole course, and if you do it well, then you I think you take the tapes and that's the end of it. But if you get loads of points and you do it like perfect, instead of just taking the tapes, you punch him and knock him out.
Ah, sweet.
So you literally just bang, knock him out and take the tapes and walk off. So it's like an alternative ending. But as the storyline goes and just the technicality of the skateboard and using everything to your advantage, and you can customise your character really well and everything, it was just another level, and it was just so much fun. It really was.
It's interesting to know that a skating game could have a really good storyline to it.
Yeah.
Again, it's similar to what we talk about Burnout. You know, people that aren't really into skating games. Well, the fact that it's got Tony Hawk at the start will help.
Yeah.
You know, he's a household name. And, you know, if you're just not into skating, but you see something like the trailer for this or the gameplay of this, you're instantly going to be interested.
Absolutely.
So, I think I've played it a couple of times. I did have another game called, I think it's called Skate and Destroy for PlayStation 1.
I remember that.
And all I remember doing on it was similar to Burnout. There's one level where you just try and get hurt as bad as you can.
Yeah, there was something they brought out on the Xbox just called Skate, and there was literally just a crash mode where you can break as many bones as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one level on there was a skate with ones where I'd just wait on the train tracks for a train to come and smush me up.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you do it in style with a jump, the more flamboyant you're going to crash and you're going to twist and stuff. But
well, also in the Underground as well, like with the customisable parts, it was so much better. It wasn't kind of blocky and standard, not really fancy. This, you could literally do anything, and you could make the best park ever.
yeah,
It was just so much fun. They really, like I said, they've amped it up so much from the first games and just made it so much better. And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I just spent hours I think I played this game, 10 times through. It's that good.
it seemed like one of those games where there's so many games recently, I suppose, where it's like you'll try it if it has some sort of skill involved. If you can't do it, you're just going to either have a strop or be like, I'll sell this. With Tony Hawk, it's kind of like, no, I will improve at this. I will get better at this. You know, it gives you a goal to achieve, and it's not just reaching the end. Well, it is, I suppose, reaching the end of the game.
It's learning new tricks as you go.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
It's a lot more dynamic.
Being able to succeed.
Yeah.
At a
It's a
game.
good game, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So yes, that's in at number 3.
In at number 2.
2.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, as any good story would go, we'll start at the beginning. Obviously, Star Wars Battlefront, the first one, was epic in itself.
It was great.
That was a PS2 launch as well, I
Yes,
think.
it was.
But it was more based on the original trilogy, and it was very ground-based. And even though how good it was, I think most of the fans knew, and probably the guys who made it, go, we didn't get everything we could have got from this.
I think it's like we could have put more in, but
Yeah,
we just physically
I think they were smart enough to go. I think by the time Battlefront 1 came out, not the whole original prequel trilogy had come out yet.
No, not yet.
So they knew that once that was done, they've got a whole new Battlefront game they can do with their hands. So they combined the two, and you could have the space battles, which were just awesome.
So much fun.
Because it wasn't just this fact of you got all these ships shooting each other and the two big cruisers.
Yeah.
The whole that you can invade the other ship.
You have to physically go into the ship,
take out the shields,
the sensors array, everything to get the ship down. I mean, it was just so much fun. It's very strategy based.
This is really building up on, I think, what you discussed a while back, that they're rebooting the Battlefront franchise.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. I mean, even now, like I think you're saying they're going to try for, was it 64 players?
64 players online
which is crazy. So knowing that there's no bots, it's just Army of 32 versus Army of 32, some with snipers, just with walkers, heading towards each other to crush the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
But again, if someone just said to me, huge invite going, get your old Battlefront 2 disc out, there's going to be a load of us online to have a battle, you wouldn't see me for the majority of the weekend.
It was just so much fun.
It doesn't matter about the graphics.
I think there was about 12 per side.
Yeah.
But even then, that was still quite carnage based.
Yeah, to have 12 on the other side and your army of bots, I suppose.
And it was still fun. It was still a lot of fun. And like the storyline was good as well because it was following the 501st.
It was a journal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a journal from the 501st, which is an elite group of clone troopers that became stormtroopers, and it follows them basically through from Attack of the Clones all the way up to, I think, was it Return of the Jedi? Did it get to the Jedi?
I know. I think to the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah, basically the Battle of Hoth. Yeah, got to there. So yeah, it was really good following that and everything. Just like kind of from their perspective, it was really quite fun. Also, like you could, instead of doing the storyline, you could literally just do random battles and everything. And there was one that me and my brother, whenever we played together, would always leave to the end. You do all the different battles, the space battles, the regular battles, bang, 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 and the one that you leave at the end is the Mos Eisley one, where you can play against all the heroes and all the villains. Not the stormtroopers, I mean literally all the Jedi and all the Sith type characters. And that was just so much fun going around and just lightsabering everybody. It was so much fun. It was just like, it was epically fun.
I think there was one called Conquest.
Yeah.
Where you had to, it was it seemed very similar to the board game Risk. That
it was a bit.
You had to, you had your own ship each. You could do it against a computer or a 2-player, and you'd have to take over each planet, and whatever planet you got to, the other person trying to defend it or attack it. The one who had all the planets at the end won. But your ships could cross path, and if that happened, you're in for a space battle.
Yeah, it's like every time that happens, a space battle.
Let's fuck each other up. So, but I think it was also the graphics didn't really matter about it.
I mean, they weren't terrible. They were pretty
for the time.
Yeah, they stand up all right, but it just didn't matter. It was just fun being. It's like, we're going to be doing all the stuff we did in Battlefront 1.
New maps, new vehicles.
But now you get Jedi and Sith as well. It's like if you killed at least 5 people in the first 2 minutes of each battle, you were able to be a hero or a villain. And that was awesome.
It's also kind of, if with this online thing on the new one, if they keep that in, if you get enough points to be a Jedi, you're going to be like, fucking get in. You know you're going to rule the map. When you're another player and it suddenly comes up like, so-and-so is General Grievous, and you got Grievous legging towards you with 4 lightsabers, you're going to shoot yourself. You're going to be like, give me the rocket launcher, and something like that. So,
Battlefront 2, man, it was epic, so much fun, so much replay value, and we're so looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
It's going to be epic.
It's got the ball rolling for a good Battlefront game.
Absolutely. So that's in number 2. So, finally, in at number 1 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, this was really difficult for us because we both like Vice City and San Andreas. They're both really...
I like GTA 3 as well.
GTA 3 was awesome, but these were the main two we were trying to struggle with. We literally just gave the edge to San Andreas purely because of the storyline and just how good that went, and the amount of stuff you could do. There was so much things you could do, even down to just eating, playing pool, working out, getting fat. Stuff like just random things that you would do in your day-to-day life. But adding all that kind of stuff on extra was just fun. And you could swim for the first time because you couldn't do that quite see. Again, it's just little things plus a really good story and a big expanded world. It was just fun. I
think it was because as well, obviously GTA 3, we spoke about putting it in because it was obviously the original that kind of just, it changed the gaming world altogether with something as original as that. But despite having an original city and a huge area, you always had other video games like Mario 64 and Zelda come to mind, where you can explore a huge map. Maybe you can't go back to them like you can with GTA, that's a city you can free roam, but you always had maps that big. San Andreas was the first to have a map of that scale, that size, that you could visit any part of it at any time you wanted.
It was monstrous.
Yeah, it was like...
For its time, it was monstrous.
So yeah, for a PS2 title, to have that, not only have that amount of the detail and the size of it, but have a good story, good graphics, good characters, and keep to the GTA...
style.
What kept GTA a great franchise was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Alright guys, that was our top 10 for this week. San Andreas being the number 1 spot. It's an awesome game. So thank you for joining us on Top 10. Next week we're going to be doing PlayStation 3 games. So basically, so like, subscribe, put your comments down. What was your top 10? What did we do right? What did we do wrong?
Oh, that's new. No, I won't be here.
No, he won't be here, but he might be back soon. I'm sure he'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Sticks will be busy again at some point.
You guys will want me back. If you don't, comment below. Actually, no, if you don't, shut up. If you do want me back, comment below. Yeah.
So, yeah, find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, and yeah, just have a good time. And we'll see you next week.
Right. Good night if you're watching this at night.
Cheers! Cheers! Hi, guys. Thanks for watching that. If you like that, then please like and subscribe down below. Also, if you want to watch another chit chat, click here. If you want to watch another review or top 10, click here. And also, you can find us on Facebook. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.